We've been talking about Meta's future headset for a while, and all of us have been calling it the Quest 3, even though we've only heard Meta say that a couple times. Well, now if you go inside your headset, go to the store, click on a game, and look at the compatibility section, users have been spotting the Quest 3 as a compatible headset for games. For a little bit, some users had seen this showing as Unknown Quest or New Quest, but it seems to have settled in as Quest 3 at the end of the listing. It's been speculated for a while that this is probably launching late this year, potentially in the fall when Meta used to have its Oculus Connect event and now has Meta Connect. Although with this imminent reveal of the Apple headset next month at WWDC, what do you think? Do you think the Quest 3 could get pushed up, or we could at least get details so that they try and prevent people from jumping over to Apple? I'd love to hear in the comments. With the mention of Apple's headset dropping next month, we're getting more and more potential news about it. And some news that's been turning heads in not such a good way is that it's supposedly going to require an external battery pack. When it comes to keeping headset weight down and costs down as well, external batteries have done a lot, like with the HTC Vive Flow or even the new Vive XR Elite that can be swapped out with a battery pack in case you want to sit back and relax and watch something. But with all the rumors of this Apple headset potentially costing up to $3,000, people are not excited about the fact that it would have to have that external battery pack and a cable then that would always be connected to it to keep it running. Something that I want to remind people here at this point though, as a lot of this still is unconfirmed, there has been rumors about this $3,000 price tag in Apple's headset for a while now, but there's also been rumors that Apple's XR AR headset is the one that's going to be $3,000, and this one that's first going to be revealed at WWDC may be more of a VR specific headset and potentially cost hopefully around $1,000. I would definitely say it's hard to imagine if it requires an external battery pack that any headset would cost $3,000, although Apple has made some very steep prices for things in the past that have surprised me before. Anybody remember that $1,500 monitor stand? Quest 2 update V54 is beginning to roll out, and with it, it's bringing some new interesting features. Now, I don't know how many of you actually spend much time in the home environment. When I log into my Quest, I'm usually just quickly trying to get to that app screen and get a game open, but it is customizable. You can switch out different home environments, and now a new step is you can change the skyboxes in them. And not only can you switch between presets, you can actually upload your own skybox to get the perfect atmosphere. There's definitely some interesting case uses for this. I think about people who create podcasts in VR or videos in VR. If you use the home environments with your avatars, you could put in a skybox that looks like whatever you want. You could even put in a logo, something in the background. Interesting idea. It's also going to start letting you have in-headset notifications for some of the 2D apps, such as Messenger, which means that when you're in a game, Messenger can pop up with a message, you could respond all without leaving the game that you're in. Luckily, that one is something you're going to have to opt into as this comes out. It's not just going to suddenly start flooding you with notifications when you're in the middle of a game if you haven't chosen for the apps to be able to do so. The one that I think is going to affect me the most, Meta is saying that they are going to improve the Quest Touch Pro controller positional accuracy. I don't know how many of you out there have been struggling with that who have the Pro controllers with the Quest 2, or if you actually sprung for a Quest Pro, but it seems like recently more and more issues have been popping up with the Quest's tracking with those controllers. I keep having them disconnect or jumping around. So out of this update, I really hope that the Quest Pro controllers do get some better tracking. For a while now, we've seen people using from the Quest to the Quest Pro and other VR headsets, replacing their computer monitors or adding supplementary ones with virtual monitors. Company Spacetop is now looking to make a laptop that doesn't have a monitor at all. Instead, this would come with AR glasses that would then allow you to pop up as many virtual monitors as you want to. With a really interesting design here, there is a lid that goes over the actual glasses, so they're always stored with the laptop keyboard inside. Now, this wouldn't be running something like Android OS or Windows, but the device would actually run Sightful's proprietary Spacetop OS operating system, and using the same Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 like the Quest 2 or Pico 4, this would be running off of mobile hardware. Although, of course, with a bigger battery and cooling areas you can put into a laptop, they can actually clock this thing in at about 3.1 gigahertz. That means it wouldn't be quite as powerful as a high-end laptop, obviously, but it would be more similar to a Chromebook, especially as it has 8 gigs of RAM. As someone who's been looking for a good editing laptop that actually has dual screens on, this is something that intrigues me if the headset can actually pull off high enough resolution to have these monitors look good and really be able to be useful. Problem there is it's not really powerful enough to do editing on the laptop side, so hopefully we'll start to see more options like this with glasses where you can either upgrade the hardware or it comes with high-end hardware. Apparently this this is something a lot of other people are interested in too, because they have raised $61 million in funding. And for those who have funded it and want to be part of the early access launch, it'll cost about $2,000 for the whole thing. Shipments are going to begin this July with only about 1,000 units to start. Back in 2021, Meta and BMW partnered up for a research program focusing on integrating AR and VR into vehicles. They recently dropped a trailer showing what they are working towards and actually the difficulty it takes to anchor virtual objects inside of a vehicle when the outside is moving and the actual car is making turns and stuff that are affecting the gyros. If you've taken a 6 Degree of Freedom headset like a Quest 2 onto an airplane and try to use it, you know what I'm talking about, where when the plane moves a little bit, everything in the headset can turn and mess you up. This is where I'm curious, what do you think out there? Do you find any use to potentially being able to have AR or VR inside of your car? Is this something that only passengers could be using or something that drivers could benefit too? I've thought about before being able to see your maps through AR glasses on the road instead of having to look over at your phone the whole time you're driving. Could be a safer way to do this. Although, as we've seen before, VR and cars doesn't always mix.
Oh my god. Calm down, Mom.
Samsung is a name that has floated in and out of the VR space for years, from the Samsung Gear VR that they partnered up with Oculus to make, to the Samsung Odyssey Windows mixed reality headsets that were somewhat popular, at least in the Windows mixed reality world. Samsung announced this year a partnership with Google and Qualcomm to develop mixed reality hardware, and now they have acquired Imagine, a US-based developer and manufacturer of OLED micro displays for AR and VR headsets. A lot of us in the VR space have been talking about micro OLED headsets and being potentially the future of VR headsets. Samsung said that it anticipates significant potential growth of XR devices, with this already leading to people wondering, will we see a new Samsung headset by the end of 2023? Samsung usually launches its new product line somewhere in the fall each year, with new phones and watches hitting the market. Of course, I would love to see Samsung drop something in the AR, XR, or VR realm. What do you think out there? It seems like more and more each week there's a lot going on in the VR space. We're at a point where the news is constantly coming. We're talking about new headsets again, new games, and I'm really excited for that. We're talking about all kinds of new game info in the games news this week, so watch out for that in a few days. But I want to say thank you for coming out, and I will see you in another reality.